And good evening, thank you for tuning in for Ric B's tutorials here. We're featuring Sam, who's also learning as well, and welcome 2021 now, aren't we?
Yes,
hello! This is like Groundhog Day every day, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we are back, and hopefully people will be joining us shortly. So we are making, what we're making today, like it's a cookie cake, straight surprise, salted caramel thingy.
Salted caramel, the main thing everyone loves eating. I think so.
You like salted caramel, don't you?
Salted caramel was really in, but we don't know what was in last year because there was nothing. There was no... It was 2020, everything died, so...
Everything died.
We're bringing salted caramel back because salted caramel, 2019, everyone was like, oh, salted caramel, Costa did it, they all did cakes for it. And then, obviously, yeah, 2020 killed most things, so now we're bringing it back.
Absolutely. So salted caramel, we're doing a salted caramel cooking cake surprise. A little surprise is what we show you here as we go on. Thank you for tuning in and welcome to 2021. COVID is still happening in the UK. Fabulous. So we're still in lockdown. We get our essentials every week just to do the tutorials. How much fun?
I know. Do you know what I love?
What's that?
The only person watching is my nan.
Oh, we've got nan. Oh, bless. But people will join us. And this is the thing, remember, people watch us after, it's not during.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so we're going to kick off tonight. First things first, going through the ingredients. They are on the website, and on Facebook, on the YouTube channel you can subscribe to, and also on the Instagram as well, Ric B's tutorials vlogs with Sam, and also the YouTube channel, which is both our vlogs and their channels for the recipes and all the past ones we've done. And actually someone told me off the other day.
Why?
Because I didn't put the icing of the cake on there for Christmas.
Go to Lidl and buy a pack. There you go. It's sorted.
Why not? Okay, so what you're going to need tonight, I'm going to talk you through. You need, firstly, the most important thing is sea salt, because you're going to need that for caramel. You're also going to need your butter, and I'll go through the ingredients shortly, listed with the ingredients and the grams, etc. in just a minute. Chocolate chips, flour, and flour is a self-raising. You can use plain, but plain you'll have to go through the baking powder scenario. And also then you've got your sugar, and then you've got your salt. Just normal table salt, okay? On the website there is cups, and I will only make probably about, I don't know, 10 cookies, not even that, okay? I've actually quadrupled this recipe today. And the reason I quadrupled it, because we can have 25, because he said, make loads because I want to eat loads.
Yeah, that was partially last night. I ate many.
And imagine this plate full here. Okay? There's only 3 left, so what, you ate 6 last night?
No, I didn't.
You little piggy.
I so didn't.
You little Miss Piggy.
I don't remember.
He's a little Miss Piggy.
If you don't remember, it's okay. That's all you got to remember.
And you need vanilla. So just go through the recipe of that. So I've quadrupled this to 4. It's usually 62 grams for like half a cup. So you've got, but I'm going through 256 grams of butter we've got, which you need to be placing with your flour, which we'll do shortly. 376 grams of your sugar, and then also you've got that 697 grams of flour, and that's self-raising I use, not the actual, because you get a bigger raise up the actual cookie. So we're actually going to make the actual cookie tonight. Yesterday I experimented a bit and did a bit of a cake sort of style to actually fit the surprise inside. But also you need your salt, which is usually about 1.5 tablespoons if you were doing only the first one recipe, but quadruple that 4 times. And again from there you've got the actual chocolate chips on here. You'll need as much as you want because it's just a dip in at the end. And on top of that you need your vanilla as well, which we'll put 4 teaspoons in. Fabulous. So are we ready to go? Our first one of 2021. What could go wrong?
Just as a help for people, I never usually sit, because all of this stuff you can get in normal shops, like anywhere. Where do you get vanilla bean paste from? Where did you get it from?
So, if you look at the top, so I go online and buy my vanilla paste. I like natural, more natural the better, than just going and getting a vanilla essence. So if you can, I can't remember where I got it from, but if you just type it in, something like an organic, because it's organic as well. So organic vanilla bean paste, it gives you that extra zzz at the end with the salted caramel. Zzz. So you'll place that within your flour and also the butter to make the actual dough. So what we have done, if you wonder why there's 679 grams in this bowl, there isn't, because we've already prepped and put some in it because it would be too high. So Sam, if I could just get you to put that into the our little food, our kitchen aid over here. We put it over here today, you see. Indeed. So I'm going to come to the side so you can see Sam. So how's everyone doing? How are we doing? We've got a few people now tuning in. That's good, it's good. Like I said, most of our viewers come in afterwards, which is fabulous, and come and view this afterwards. But welcome everyone, welcome to our first one. Sorry we couldn't do the dance one last night. A lot of people have asked, I had quite a few messages saying they haven't learned the routine yet, so which is nice. So hopefully they'll either come on and join me next week or Friday.
I haven't learned it.
No, you haven't learned
it's
it.
okay.
Or if they don't, they'll probably just practice alongside me off camera. But yeah, please join me next Friday because we've got nails, hair, hips, heels in my heels with the step tutorial. So let's get going, yeah? So flour, if you can add the sugar as well into your flour. So remember, all you're going to do is just into a mixing bowl or your KitchenAid, add your flour and then your sugar.
The one main thing to remember though, always do not start cooking when you've got 2 empty glasses because there's no alcohol. What do we do?
I'll sort the alcohol.
Right.
I'll sort that. What do you like? Do you like Disaronno? I think.
Disaronno.
Disaronno. Sounds like Bette Midler out of Focus Focus.
Yeah, I was going to say, you
Oh, you sing what we're doing today.
That's what you should say when you ask me to go.
You're there. That's it. Do you remember? You're there. Anyway, moving on. So we're going to make the dough. So what I've just done is I've melted the butter because if you melt the butter with the sugar and the flour, mix it all together, you get that nice diluted effect on the. Because what happens is if you add butter just like so, then unfortunately what happens is that it doesn't give you the desired effect to be able to give you the dough itself. So I've melted it down to give it that water essence instead of having to add milk. But that is another tip for you, can add milk to it, not water, milk to give you the extra dough that you need. Cool. So I'm going to go and get some alcohol. So I'm going to leave you with Sam just for a minute while he's adding it all together. And then what I need you to do, Sam, is slowly add that and whisk it together inside, and you might need that. And if you want me to finish off, you're there.
Oh no, you've been left with me. Wow. I hope everyone's doing alright, because there is a lot of things going on in the world right now. So, as everybody knows, but I hope everyone's had a safe-ish 2021 so far. I mean,
there's no happy in it, is there?
There's no happy. There's no happy. Let's put it that way. And the effort, everyone's effort has just gone. Like, there's no effort.
So help us, share the page and have a laugh, because that's what we're trying to do for you lot. So, Disaronno, vintage dry cider, or Prosecco, what we having?
All 3 in one glass. No,
really?
I'll have Disaronno.
Sounds like my nan, an alcoholic. Anyway, right, she's dead now anyway. Moving on. So, happy 21!
2021.
Were you having Disaronno? I tell you what though, it's really good because those people don't know what to say when it comes to the New Year, do they? They don't want to say Happy New Year or anything like that. So at the moment it's a bit like, I hope it goes as well as it can do. or improve as well, or hopefully improve for us all. And there's hope for us still in the UK because I think we're just falling flat on our faces. Anyway, so let's do Disaronno. I'm not even going to bother weighing it out, let's just get in drunk. Right. How's that come along?
Bother measuring it out. Who measures out alcohol?
Oh, that's so true. My nan didn't. Anyway, she had a bar and literally she used to go like that. Anyway, didn't she, Mum? Was Mum on? I don't know if Mum's on.
She could be, but the thing is, there's no point weighing the alcohol out because it doesn't matter how drunk you get because I've got work tomorrow and the sensible thing is to get pissed just before you go on a shift. Remember that.
Anyway, so 2021, it reminds me back last year. So does everyone remember their time last year? Well, sometimes it might be happy memories, might be sad memories. Mine, it was good because I was sitting there thinking, you know, oh, New Year ahead and whatever else, not even going to go there with a relationship side at the time. Anyway, then all of a sudden got to New York. I know New York! And I had an amazing time. And then I met this fella.
Oh dear.
Was Spunky Bear. So if you've not heard of Spunky Bear, this is Spunky Bear. And we were around the whole of New York on my backpack and actually sat on the back like that, like a baby carrier, right? And there's me going around the whole of New York with Spunky Bear. So he's making, so it's a year today I've had him. And imagine it, when we were in Build-A-Bear in New York, in Times Square, And she suddenly reads out my certificate and goes, Spunky Bear! All the kids were like, yeah. So anyway, so I've got now a passport. And I'm going to tell you a quick funny story while Sam's just making up the dough. And everywhere you go around the world, you take him with you. So he's now my travel companion because I've been taking wherever I want, and we get pictures wherever we can. And you know what? It was a gift card from a dancer. She made my life a little bit more complete because she said to me, "We always need a travel buddy." And at the time, I was like, leaving the dance school that I used to teach at, and then I got travel buddy. And unfortunately, we couldn't travel, so I decided to make our own adventures. Anyway, so I never grow up. Anyway, so when it comes to Spunky Bear, he'll be back soon because he's got his own Facebook page, so do check him out. And then one little thing, I went into last year, it was around February time, and I went into the actual Build-A-Bear shop. It was empty. It was absolutely empty, right? And I think it was because it was a late, Sunday afternoon, so coming up to 3, 4 o'clock. Walked in, and what did I do? I went to where I looked at it, I went, I know this isn't Covent Garden or Soho in London, but I need to make him a sleazy stroke gay bear. So,
basically, I need to make a teddy that is usually for people who are just like, I want a teddy on my bed. I need to make my teddy a whore, basically.
So we started, the lady turned around and went, I know just the thing. She went, I worked in Soho and I worked in the gay one, all the gays come in all the time. So in the end, we decided to then sort of use our just imaginations, different things. And poor Spunky Bear, I'm just ripping his head off here as I do this, just a bit of horror as you look at it. So we've got him the harness, okay? So we've got him the harness, and then obviously we've got him underwear. I've got him some Speedos, I've got them all sorts. You have to use your imagination, but when you go in there, you have to take the kid hat off and go, we're going to make it a gay bear. And we did. Anyway, that's a long story, cut short. Anyway, moving on. How we doing? Add milk. So, if you want to show on the camera...
If you don't want to have breadcrumbs...
So that's good. So when you get to the point of breadcrumbs, and you find that there isn't enough, this is where we're saying that you have to add the actual, from the butter through to the milk. Purposely, if you come here, and then we will only a bit at a time, so if you stick it back on for me.
Only I could fail at mixing something with an actual KitchenAid.
Did you know what, he made me a roast tonight? And he'd never done one before. So proud. I'm so proud of him. Sounds really bad, doesn't it? Sounds really patronising, but actually genuinely was. We came in and they had this you've let us see on the Facebook page. It was bloody awesome. Right. Do you want some cut? We haven't got any Coke, have we? We've got to drink it neat. Oh god, here we go. Do you want to
I'll make you a
Just look back, guys. Look at this, look.
Oh. If you want to be someone's bitch, then wear this around the house.
He hasn't learned the difference between this and what it actually means yet, but we'll get there.
Cleaning queen.
How are we doing anyway? Let's check out who we've got on there. We've got oh, hi Sally, I hope you're feeling better. Bless Sally, she wasn't well. Is that Disarona a bit strong, Sam? Is it Sam strong for you?
Oh, because that's why when you asked me the question, I was like, you know, like that advert when people have them, when they have tanfastics.
Oh yeah.
You know, and they do the face and they're like, that's how I felt. But that's the only explanation I can use.
So anyway, square moments. So at that point, you need to think about, when you get to the dough point, this is the dough point. You should be at breadcrumb level now, we should be at this stage. So, if we want to clear the area, yeah, breadcrumbs. And it usually just turn to breadcrumbs. It's not any fault of Sam, that is purely what happens, and that's why I usually will actually melt the butter, so you don't have to add too much milk to it. Okay, so this is a quadrupled recipe, as I said earlier, from what's on Facebook. Okay, so we have made this big because Sam wants loads of them. He wants loads, okay? I'm talking about right Londoner now. Right Londoner now. So, move all these out of the way so you can see. Okay. All I'm going to ask you to do is make sure you just put in your vanilla paste. And you can do that while it's mixing. You can do it while... I like to do it when it's actually already on the actual table to use. So I do one at a time. Teaspoons, 4 of those. Mix it in. Just don't mind, just like get my hands dirty. So, how's everyone doing? How was your first few weeks of January? I know it's not looking good in the UK at the moment, so anyone who's abroad, it's looking better for them. Donald Trump this week, well, what a surprise. I'm not even going to go down that one, politics and all that side of things. What happened? Oh, we went to Home Bargains, didn't we, Sam? We sat there.
If anyone's wondering what I'm doing, I'm just doing what we call advertising.
Advertising. So we went into Home Bargains, and as you do, no one knows what Home Bargains is. It's like a branded store that has everything branded, but actually is a cheap store. So it's fabulous because I can get things much cheaper than I would do at Tesco. Okay? So don't believe anything they say, so I still work for them. Moving on, I can say it now. So when it comes to this, we got into the second aisle, and there's this little girl there. And when I say little girl, she was like about 4? Do you agree, Sam? About 4? And
I'd say she was 4.
And all of a sudden, she just comes past us and she goes like this. She goes, rushes past us. Her mum's already gone down the aisle, and she's gone to the worker behind us and gone, "Are you ripping us off?" Like this. And she was about 4. And then she walked off. What did she say?
No, the first thing she turned, it's the way she said it. She
had an attitude.
She literally picked, honestly,
Our faces dropped.
I'm quite dead inside, so I don't find things that funny, but she was like, you can hate children, but this child, you think, wow, blessed.
She was
so
like
glad she had it. She literally picked up the item and was like...
Attitude on it. She was like, on it.
She was like, what a rip-off. She was like... And then one of the workers were in there, and she was like... She said to her mum, she was like, "Mum, they've robbed you. This is cheaper in... this is cheaper in... Yeah, and the mum just...
Her face looked at us and was like this.
She just was like, where she learned it?
She was like, I must admit, at first I thought Vicky Pollard.
Vicky Pollard.
Like mum going,
Vicky Pollard's a child.
It wasn't, her mum was shocked as well, and we sat there, well, I tell you what, we had a miserable day, didn't we? And then all of a sudden it turned this miserable day into this kid going, "This is a rip-off." And then I was like, I need her in my life, I tell you. She'll check every price, you don't get ripped off by her. I tell you, she's on it. I've added the salt, by the way, which I've done by hand. As I rolled it and kneaded it together. Not that I need to knead it, but I do. I like to do that. Get some egg into it.
Yeah, don't worry guys, next time, just a quick thing. By the way, when I am going to be the one that probably makes it next time. I usually sometimes do the behind the scenes makes, which is what we show you at the end. I don't usually do it on the tutorial, so everyone probably thinks I'm a lazy fuck.
No, actually, in
That's
2
very
weeks'
true.
time you're doing the banana loaf, aren't you?
I'm doing the banana loaf again, because I did post a picture of one I made last week.
And I was unwell last week, unfortunately. But it was awesome. It was tasted so good, and it was, I hate this word, moist.
Oh.
But it means, I mean well with it. Moist.
Nothing's moist in here, dear.
It reminds me of something, that's why I can't, anyway, moving on.
Oh, well, like how people say their vagina's moist. But the thing is, if you say that about your
ninny.
If you say that about your little lady,
ninny.
then enjoy that. Like
Everyone, I'm not going. We've got food. Look, not that anyone really cares. Ninny.
Everyone,
my little miss, perfect.
Everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of people have names for their parts. Like mine's, what was mine? Button mushroom, because it's so small. You know what I mean? Everyone has their. Someone else probably has Big John or.
That's really a bit like them big bragging, isn't it?
Yeah, but you can't brag if you don't have anything to brag about. But sometimes you don't need to brag about the front because you can always brag about the
Well, I'm
back.
size 11 feet, so I hope that helps. Anyway, moving on. Right, so. They say, you know the saying goes. So what I'm going to do is, we're now going to mix the salt and the vanilla into the actual dough as well, as I've slowly done that. And that's 4 tablespoons if you're doing quadruple the mix, which I've done because Sam just wants to eat loads of these or take it into work tomorrow.
Or just eat the dough.
Or just
it is. Like, just, you could.
Oh, by the way, so we talked about his apron, now look at mine.
14.
So we got your mum gave us these for Christmas, didn't she?
Yeah, oh, you got it right this time.
That's, what did you have, wasn't it? Air freshener, that is exactly where you're...
Don't pull it back.
That's his air freshener, exactly where Oh,
It
it's
says air freshener.
And wipes.
It says air freshener exactly
You know, that's perfect.
where my smelly penis
That's
is.
perfect for a good night out. In.
A good night out in.
Good night out in. Out in.
A good night out if you want to break all the rules. No, don't.
No,
do
I'm talking about good night out in the bedroom.
Oh.
Look, wipes, air freshener.
If anyone knows, obviously anyone who knows me, our mums are home. The top one is a sponge, and we know we don't.
He hates sponges.
Don't touch a sponge.
So I go to a mister who's washing the car. Do the sponge? He's like, no.
Do you know what's the terrible thing though?
Moist.
I say to people sometimes they don't know I'm gay, which is not many people, because come on, I'm too fabulous. But the thing is, I don't like sponges, and there's sometimes. People sometimes reference gay people to a sponge, so you know what I mean. They'll be like, "Oh, I don't
I've never heard that.
You know, when someone's like,
You wet sponge?
You're a fucking sponge." Do you know what I mean? People do say it sometimes. So when I say to some people sometimes, I don't like sponges. They're very much like. I've probably had this once, so I won't say loads of people. That's a lie. But where someone's like, "Oh, you don't like gay people," and I'm like, "Well, of course I." Well, I don't like gay people, but. I just
clear that one up. They're a little bit more bitchier than the normal people. That's why I like normal people.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Polish and cloths. So yeah, that actually is for a good night in the bedroom. That actually clears. I don't know what you use a duster for. That's if you're actually like my best friend who's never had it for about 10 years. Anyway.
Where'd you put the lube?
Disinfectant.
Where'd you put the lube?
Oh, that's good for COVID.
Where'd you put the gag? Where'd you put the handcuffs?
Well, it depends on what you're into.
Where'd you put the whip? Where'd you put the dog lead?
Where's mine anyway? It's a boring story here. It's cool beans. It's only because I was speaking to Sam's mum one day and over the phone, of course, and all of a sudden I just went cool beans or something like that, and I was texting, I think, didn't we? And all of a sudden it was like I got that from used to say cool beans, so I used to work for a big coffee chain, and hence why I know my coffee as well. And I used to say cool beans, so she's got that nicely.
And I've heard him say it 4 times today, just so you're hearing. And I'd just like to say how he gets a nice personalised one, and then I get one that's got all the cleaning equipment. Basically, you've now moved out the house. You've now moved out the house, so now you're going to be a housewife.
What I did turn on and say really was it should have been princess, because he's princess in training, whereas there's the queen, and you know. Even I would not stop
cleaning
Maggie.
Princess and cleaning queen. Yeah.
I can think of filthier things than that. Anyway, moving on. So when you get your dough, you need to roll them a little in balls, okay? As soon as I say balls, I'm just like.
I'm just thinking of when you said about saying dirty names, like. Never think anything is PG, because I watched Peppa Pig the other day.
Oh my god, Peppa Pig is rude as hell.
And she was like, "Oh look, here comes in Daddy Pig," and Daddy Pig comes in and he's got like a deep like, and then and Daddy Pig's like, "Hello, baby pig," and I just watched that and I think,
be careful.
I think Twink and Daddy Bear going in and...
But Prowler. Only gays will get that. Anyway, it's fashion.
Only gays will get that, and I'm like, what's that?
Yeah, he was like, well, that's fashion. Anyway, so, as I was saying, going into the balls. So if you like big balls, you can make them as big as you like. Just not put any hair in it, alright? Keep your hair nets on. Anyway, that's what he was doing earlier. He was curtsying. I caught him in the bedroom, curtsying with his apron. Denise, he was curtsying with your apron. I did not teach him that one. Only the feather boa. Anyway, so, when you actually get the dough, then you need to get things you love. And when I say things you love, whether it's a Malteser or whether it's eggs, we've got Easter coming up. Look, Easter eggs already. So stick it in there and then wrap it in. Simple as. And back in the bowl. Okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to put it onto actually a baking tray, just like so, and just push it down into more of like a donut-y circle. La, 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 la. Okay.
See, if you were teaching this as if it was sex education, you just say the ball is the man and the egg is the woman. But the egg doesn't go into the ball, does it? It'd be the opposite way around. Wouldn't make sense.
It's like when my dad turns into you're a nightmare and I turn around and go, well, you're the one who put the sperm on my mother.
Ooh.
Anyway, moving
that's
on.
what I say to I used to say that to my dad. As soon as if he'd ever get annoyed with me like moaning, I'd be like, well, you should have worn a condom then.
That's what I do. Anyway, so what I've got here tonight is we've actually got. So we've put in things like munchy coconut donut, cookie doughs, and also 12s, all sorts. So I've got 12s here. We've got, Nan's watching. Thank you so much for the Christmas gifts, Nan, because I really appreciate them. Really appreciate them. He hasn't called you yet, and I've been bugging him, so don't even blame me for that one. That's Aiden. Anyway, folks, you can actually do a call to you now. I'm going to tell you off. Anyway. We've got plenty of times to go out with me after this, but until COVID eventually happens, we're going to be sitting in for a while. I hope they don't expire.
Expire?
The vouchers.
No,
No,
they don't. All days out can happen one day.
2027. Our day out is like Lidl. We get excited for Lidl. Anyway, it's like when back in the day it was a theatre or theme park. Now it's Lidl.